But first, fit check. I do not dress like this every day, just so y'all know. Alright, so plan for today is a little bit different. Normally my education or my project working days are Mondays, but this week I'm doing an additional observation experience. So because I won't have that time Monday, I'm doing the things today on Sunday. Alright, so first let's log on to MedBridge and finish up some videos. Just a disclaimer, this is the score from the initial exam we're required to take. That is at the very start of the residency before completing any educational materials. So I fully expect that score to increase as we move along and as we learn. Although starting out, I don't think it's actually that bad. So typically if we go here, then we can see all of the different modules and you can see where you've left off. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. What I like about MedBridge though is that if you go to the patient engagement tab, then you can also create HEPs. And this is how I design exercise programs for all of my patients. Another thing I like about the certification prep on MedBridge is that you can see how far along you are through the course. It says I'm about 41%, which is pretty good considering I'm about a third of the way through my residency. So I just finished up section 3. Now I finally get to move on to section 4. We're looking at task analysis and specific training. And something else I like about the MedBridge format is that typically after every video there's a little quiz, so it's just a good way to assess your progress and the things that you've learned. Alright, so now that we did those videos, it's time to go on to this Google Drive that I have for my residency. Each of the residents has this tracking form. Now we just scroll down to the one we just completed. It's that one. And we also we started chapter 4. So then after each video is completed, there's a feedback form for each video. And this helps our residency coordinators decide whether or not to keep each item in the curriculum or not. But we just click where we did the video, the name of the course, and then we rate it. So what I like about this is on this tab it's all MedBridge, and then at the bottom, scroll too far, we can see the number of items and then also what percentage of each is complete. They also have a column for the suggested rotation that we complete the video on, but that is recommended. It's not something you have to do. And then they have a tab for the Neuro Consortium videos. We're all up to date on those. They are recorded live, but there is one coming up this week. And then we have an optional tab with different articles, webinars, and CPGs, things like that. Alright, so then because of where I'm at in the residency program, I am starting my first in-service project. So I'm thinking about doing my in-service project on individuals with dementia and how that impacts physical therapy, as well as maybe some recommendations with patient handling. So now I'm just going to be reviewing some articles, making sure that it's within the date range I want. Typically, nothing older than 10 years is at least what I was taught in school. So that is the range that I'm going to stick with. So now that we've completed some more coursework, we have another tracking form that just allows us to see how many education hours we complete a week, how many hours we spend in the clinic, as well as how many mentor hours we get a week. And then if we go over to this tab, we can also check off when we attend multidisciplinary rounds, what sorts of technology we've been exposed to, and then an additional tab on medical conditions that we are exposed to for the first time each week. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of diagnoses. Because I spent Monday of last week observing the ALS clinic, I had 6 exposures to the ALS population that I would not have otherwise had in my particular setting. This week I actually did get a few newer patients. So I had one post-stroke 1 week and then another post-stroke another week. Additionally, I had 2 new exposures to spinal cord injuries, so I'm just documenting that. And then here you'll see me recording how many mentor hours I had over the week. So I'm gonna have 2 this week and then 3 for the previous week. And then of those hours, I'm just recording how many of those I was primarily leading when I was co-treating with my mentor. And then I go over to the clinical hours. That's just how many hours a week I spend treating, documenting, observing, attending rounds, all things clinical related. 38 is just an estimation, but I will go back and edit that. I estimate that I'm going to spend 7 hours being educated with my observations. And then I'm coming here and looking at the number of hours I've worked through my employer, just making sure that I don't go overtime. And then with those hours, you can see the additional 8 hours on Monday that I don't normally work from the observation. And then Friday, I'm taking PTO. And then I'm coming back to this screen because I just went over to my WellSky tab to see how many hours I spent treating and documenting and observing and things like that. So I just calculated those hours and corrected them. And then at the bottom, I can see what kind of progress I've made towards meeting my goals at the end of the residency program. Next, I'm going to roll out the mat and do some Pilates. I find this a great way to help manage my hypermobility. Dinner, I'll be having leftover salad with a mixed green bed, some avocado, a little bit of Parmesan, and some leftover seared chicken. And then of course I'm gonna watch the best show ever while I eat dinner. Alright, now we've gotten ready for bed. We're probably just gonna do some reading. This just came out and it is so good. Let me know in the comments if you've read it before, but her connection with the performing arts just makes me love Gilmore Girls even more. So I might finish that up tonight. Gonna give the dogs a chew treat and go to bed.